of you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly succeed in attaining all in that which is your need? To be heard by the real answerer of all deeds, the true hero of all whom pleads. Who of you really want to bow down to the true King of Kings commanding the crown? To worship the one that ever rules alone, commanding everything of creation from the seat of its throne.
We'll continue on this conversation, and Ahezaah gives so much, you know, just that little thing that we as me still got to be going. But praise Ahezaah, you know, because this is the hour. This is part of the breaking of the seals as part of the prophecy and revelation. That's needed for people that are seeking to come to the Lord in truth in this day and time. So it's appreciated for my, you know, I appreciate Ahezaah much for it's doing that, you know. And those that are here, you know, whatever Ahezaah gives you of his understanding, praise be to it. But Holy-Apostle was saying something about how even though Ahezaah being the endless infinite, it's still going to be, if you go beyond the angels, it's still going to be something, still going to be
something in between. Yeah. I heard a beautiful saying once upon a time, long time ago, man, before my enlightenment. It said between Allah, between man and the angels, there's 70,000 veils.
Yeah.
And between the angels and Allah, there's 700,000 veils. You know? And I looked and I said, wait a minute. The angels that far away from Allah? You know? And I said, well, I can understand us being 70,000 veils. You know? But as I grew, I said, why they use that number? Why they use those numbers? And then it came to me that in mysticism, 7 only means great.
Okay.
Whenever you talk about 7, you talk about greatness.
Okay.
That's why they say 7 is heaven. Heaven is great. But heaven is not as great as paradise.
Right.
If you understand the difference between paradise and hell, people think the ultimate is heaven and hell. That's what the jinn want you to think. That's what the devil wants you to think. No, heaven is where we go to be judged. Heaven is where the angels sit and where and the prophets sit arranged in ranks before the Lord of the throne. But there's something higher than that, which begins at the crown of its creation, at the ultimate end of the crown of the creation, the crown of Allah. It's something beyond that. You know? So when it said the 70 and the 700, that's only mean great and many times great.
Right.
You know? And of course, let's see, I had a conversation with some angels, and I was told they don't know what it is. They don't know what Allah is. So what is Allah? Well, Allah in name is the Lord of the throne. We the seraphim, we clothe that being. It forms itself by us. We become the clothes of it. But whatever it is inside, we don't know what it is. All we know that it is. And when it takes us down from that form, it's still there. We can't see it, but we feel it. We know it's there. We know its presence. No, that's not the ultimate of El. That's not the Lord of the throne is not the ultimate. It's the ultimate for you to worship as a common mind. But when you become an extraordinary mind, you got to go beyond that. Your duty is to worship the highest in what you know of it. That's why the laws for the prophets is not the same as the laws for the common men. Huh? And the priests and the preachers and the imams and the sheikhs and the popes and the, all these people, they imitate.
Right.
Imitation. You got the prophets being a reflection of the Lord Most High in their mind.
Right.
And then these people being an imitation of the prophets. So what are they? When the prophets are not real, so what are they? And they're imitations of the unreal. Run around here talking about they got power and they holy. Huh? Yeah. Somebody said, well, the Pope is holy. I said, the only thing is holy about the Pope is, you know, the holes that's in his program. The holes in their conversation. It's very holy. Them and a lot of other so-called religious leaders. And people say, how dare you step on people? You got billions of people who would. So what? The Lord says it's coming to destroy the whole world. You gonna say to the Lord, wait, how dare you? We got 6 billion people on earth and you gonna destroy us all? You might be destroyed living in death and don't even know it, thinking you're still alive right now. The Lord does what He want to do. There's no limitations for it.
Yeah, I think many people in humanity, many of them pose that very question. When the Lord takes down things, destroys the town, do things, that can't be the Lord. It didn't do that. And I said, boy, how do you forget just reading about Noah and how you just forget that quick? And you say
easy because they don't believe in that. They don't believe in that. That's why, man, you know, that's why Farrakhan's people say we could believe in the prophet that was here and the prophet to come, but we can't believe in you. Why you can't believe in me? Wasn't I promised to come? Why your man running from me? He said he afraid of the prophet. Why are you afraid of the prophet? Because he ain't right? If I wasn't the chosen one and someone came and had proofs that he was, I would run to him. I wouldn't run away from him because of my intentions.
Right.
You see? So people with bad intentions, they gonna run from me. They ain't gonna want to, they gonna want to curse me. They gonna want everybody in the world to go against me. Don't see him. They had the little man down in City Hall in Newark said keep him out of the city hall. People from the state said keep him out of City Hall. Whoa, who am I? Oh, you know. Oh, keep me out, okay. Because I ain't into politics anyway.
I smiled. I just had a person this week ask me, they watched our program and asked him, how do you know he is the messenger? I said, from the sign the Lord had given me, proved to me that he is the messenger of the Lord Most High. And I said, think about the Allah gave me a scenario with Elijah and Malcolm. And I said, Malcolm was incarcerated. He never met Elijah, but the letters that Elijah wrote in correspondence to him changed Malcolm's life. You couldn't say Elijah wasn't the messenger. Malcolm may have lived until he came out, but whatever Allah did through the messages of correspondence changed Malcolm. So you can't tell me this man Elijah from the signs that Allah manifests in our community. They thought about it and said, wait a minute, I never looked at it like that. I said, that's why they don't even mention Elijah now. He ain't raised up now. Because they knew he was the messenger of Allah. And what he did
they're afraid to mention his name even in death.
You know. People watch the program, some people have that question. Well, how you know you were the messenger?
You would think for the common people, I don't know what was going on with Malcolm or with Finn, but when you come across the meeting the messenger, the potentiality of meeting the messenger, if you are, I'm talking about for the people who even perceive that they are believers, that they want to believe, then they have to be prepared to truly try the truth, you know.
Ahezaah says that the messenger is a trial for the people.
Right, and in the time of Jesus, how many people believed Jesus was the Christ?
That's what I was. That's what I gave him.
You know?
He only had 12. They believe more in John than they did in Jesus, and that's why they won't mention John, because John was the major prophet of the day, and not Jesus. Jesus was not near John. John baptized Jesus, not only in the water as a symbol, but in the spirit. John taught Jesus. John was before Jesus. And Jesus had a job to do. That's right. And that was to go and be the Messiah, to go out and find the people and leave John's work to John. But Jesus, being a hardhead, wanted to stay in Jerusalem and fight the people he knew. But let me just say this here before you go forth. Yeah, Holy Queen Mother just stepped in. You know. But the thing about it is this. I can see them having the question about, how can you believe he's the messenger? You know, because I say things like shit. and a lot of other things.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I speak just like you.
Yeah.
Huh? And they say he can't be the. He might not be the. Because listen how he don't speak like the Pope. The Pope would never say shit, not in front of you.
That's right.
Because the Pope is a big actor. Jesus said, "I'm a killer, the killer."
Yes.
What the hell in his language? What the you doing? Kicking over them when he went to the
temple. Yeah,
temple.
right.
He went off.
Yes, he did.
And they say he was a Prince of Peace. He never had no anger. You liar. The story is Jesus was mad. He was angry.
Right.
They couldn't control him.
Yeah.
He went off. He was fighting. He was a warrior. Now you talking about what? They got you fooled to get hit in the face and turn the other cheek. If that's those the cheeks they talking about, because they call four of them cheeks.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
I know.
See, the irony behind this whole thing is that they want you believing all this passive. You know, right. Jesus was passive. You should be passive. You should let the people,
that's part of the devil's trick.
The devil rule over you.
Yeah, and
because if somebody gonna punch you in your face, they trying to affect something. So if you laying down taking that punch in your face, turning the other cheek, is you're giving someone the upper hand on you. And they always, you know, and come on, let's be for real. Do they really believe in Jesus?
No, because let's look at a couple of things here. First of all, when 9/11 hit this United States of America, this Christian society, they said, we will never forget. The hell with that. We're going to kill them all. We ain't never going to forget, right? Okay. The other thing is they said, don't mix church with state, right? And the education system is part of the state, right? But yet and still, they're teaching our children, if somebody hits you, don't hit them back. Yeah. Go tell. That's not in the way. That's not in the divine book. Allah always said, fight against those that fight against you. Huh?
That's right.
Because see, after school, you going to tell them teachers ain't coming to your community.
Right.
And if you grow up being a coward, well, I needless to say, there's a lot of homos now among men who didn't fight back. You know? And that's not to put them down or anything like that, because some of them homos could fight their behinds off. But they mixing in all different ways that Christian belief or false belief, man, about, you know, turning that other cheek and being submissive to your enemies and letting them run over you, but go to a higher authority and let them take care of you. Now, if the higher authority like the other person, then what they gonna do? You go to court system and you see the uneven forms of justice. You got lawmakers making the laws, making their own salaries, changing the laws to get their own salaries, then penalizing the society and something. You wonder why the Lord is bringing the society down.
Yeah, because if you look at the real thing behind Jesus and everything that they promote and put up with Jesus, they put up Jesus with the people that put Jesus on the cross. The Romans. The Romans has taken over Catholic.
They put Jesus beneath them.
Christianity all rolled up together and set these laws. And the Pope is the most powerful person in the world. But it was the Catholic that put Jesus on the cross. And then they wanted. So my whole thing is, you don't believe in Jesus because Jesus wasn't of the Catholic faith.
Right.
So just that associate Jesus with the Catholic faith, right there, you don't believe in Jesus because Jesus taught against that way of life. And the other thing is, if you believe in Jesus, then notice here, Jesus wasn't dancing and humming or playing the harmonica when they had him chained up going to that cross.
Right.
You know, my whole thing is, message of prophets of Allah ain't no patty cake bake. How can Allah send a patty cake man down here to stand before pharaohs and kings and presidents and things of that nature if he's a patty cake man? You know what I'm saying? So to try to act like Jesus was so doggone humble and just helped himself up on that cross and was singing the blues as he was going, that's all falsehood. And my whole thing is that Allah didn't make it hard for you to see.
That's
If
right.
Allah has given us vision to see, Allah has given you vision to see. But you want to take up with the nonsense because the nonsense serves you.
Yeah.
You know, you could give your charity, which is from Allah, who gave you the job. You could go on Sunday and do your Hail Marys because you slept with somebody else's husband or somebody else's wife. You could go to the masjid and do the same thing because you lie about Prophet Muhammad, acting like Prophet Muhammad was underneath some bed waiting for somebody to protect him when he believed that Allah was the protector. Right. You know what I'm saying? Now they got Prophet Muhammad as a punk. And his followers was greater than him in war. How ridiculous that is. And as time goes on, somebody going to start telling the truth. Like now, all of a sudden, they telling the truth about Moses. Said Moses was a killer. He was a warrior. He created the Israelite warriors. What have you. They all did. The followers was not. Jesus had a set of punks. And nobody want to address that. We want to listen to what the 12 disciples had to say. Well, niggas, you can't even get past first base with me with the fact that none of y'all there with Jesus.
Right.
How you can tell me you believe? I mean, come on, let's be for real. If they had took him, chained up your mama, and was getting ready to hang her, what would you do? You wouldn't say, "Bye, mama." You would be killed trying to save your mama. So don't tell me you love someone and you seen them get tortured and you believe that that's what the Lord wants. We had somebody said that to the the messenger here, talking about, yeah, I don't worry because I know that Allah is with you, this, that, and the other. Yeah, that's true. But where do you stand? Do you stand for Allah? Because if you don't stand for Allah and ready to die for Allah, then you stand for other than Allah. And that's the truth. You got to ask yourself. Everybody at some given time in their life need to ask themselves, are you ready to die for what? Because some people only ready to die when they get old and still ain't ready. You know?
All I could say is she came kind of late. She done just put fire on our fire. You know? I'm in the mix of the blaze and I thought I was on fire. You know, now I'm really burning, you know.
I think it's because it's the Easter thing and this hypocrisy, this money-making event going on. You can't even get down here from the traffic. You know, everybody gonna get dolled up and everything. Yeah. and my whole thing is you getting your children dressed and you're trying to make it seem like Jesus died up on that cross. If Jesus was dead, why didn't they bury that body? Why did they take and put it in the cave and then put a protector around it? If Jesus was dead, now you supposed to tell me that Jesus came from underneath that 6 feet dirt.
That's what I was questioning.
Dirty, rose up, brushed himself off,
out of the cave from behind that rock. Why did they put him in there?
Right. If he was dead, why was somebody protecting, watching over that dead body?
That's right.
A dead body is a dead body, ain't it? They left Biggie in the train station. And I ain't trying to hype, but I'm just saying, a dead body is a dead body.
Wow,
so,
I didn't know they left Biggie in the
yes,
train
they
station.
did, biggest day. They brought him from California, left him right there in the middle of the thing. Daily News had a field day with it. But, you know, my whole thing is, and we so hypocritical and silly. The ones that want to believe is just silly because Allah named him the Messiah. Right. Everybody know Messiah means travel. So don't tell me he came out with one sandal on and he took a road to heaven.
That's right.
You know, then he made me laugh one day, Holy-Apostle. He said, names mean something. Your name means something. And I was like, yeah, I know that. But he said, no, Rabbi, people don't think when they dealing with people. He said his name was Bernie Madoff. Madoff with all the people money. Madoff. Why they shot? They created the language. They know the deal behind it. Madoff with all they people money. Ahezaah is so funny. Gave him the last name and let him make all they do.
Alright, let us get back. Boy, she done made her entrance, man.
Yes, she did.
Yes, I'm telling you, she done just drowned me.
Sam was the bunny rabbit.
Oh, the bunny rabbits and those that have it.
The rubber band
I'm laughing because as you was talking, Holy Queen, how you mentioned about how they, the thousand, and how just this week came out that the Pope, his very Pope himself, before he became the Pope, had sex crimes going on in his parish where he was at. And he hid that. So, it's ironic.
I often think about the Pope that just passed not long ago in them little red slippers he had on. Like he know he was going to step in the fire. He said, I might as well get ready, put on my fiery red slippers because I know who I'm going to meet.
And his job, people know he was a part of this Pope that just passed, the Holy Apostle, they did a thing, but you do his history, he was a part of the German. He was the only non-Italian Pope. He was German. Part of Hitler's thing, he worked for a company called A.H.A.D, who made, they burnt the Jews in the furnace. That was him.
That was him. The people
that was his
don't
job.
know what these this organization is. See,
really?
You got L and then you got its devil. The devil it created. You got the advocates of L and you got the advocates of the devil. You got the people who work in the way of the righteous, and you got people who work in the way of evil. You understand? And people in the world run around here acting like these people are evil ain't on earth. You know? Yeah. You gotta look and see him somewhere. And see, the beautiful thing about L is always telling you different things through his messengers, through his prophets. And it told us all about the Pope and what's going on with Catholicism today, 2,000 years ago.
That's right.
What was going to be happening today with them? And you know, you got people, you know, millions or billions of people worshiping and acting like they don't see that. Just like Jesus was, you know, had hair of sheep wool. That's nappy hair like mine.
Right.
But they got this long stringy hair like a hippie. Caucasian hippie. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on?
It's funny because they did, this week, since it's been the so-called Passover week, they've been showing programs on the channels, and they were showing the Shroud of Turin again. How they took digitally photographed and tried to make him white still. I said, look at this. They still won't make him
real face of
Jesus. I said, they something, man.
Look at it.
I said, they something.
I know what they was going to be trying. But they got to do what they got to do.
Like created delusion.
So,
you got to keep
well, you know, I told the kids, I said, you know, what has happened in the past, people act like that's so far from what's happening now.
Right.
Same game, different face.
Yes,
so maybe Jesus had a perm back then.
Yeah. And they gave him a pointy nose.
And vitiligo. He had like the white skin.
You know how they do that thing on the digital with, you know.
Oh yeah.
Back then it was so far advanced. You know,
but it's like created delusion. They sit around and they accuse historically of the messenger, or even of a person that they perceive as religious, and they might dangerously say something to remind people of the messenger. That person's deluded. That person, they turn away from that person. But here they are. They create, and if you break it down, they'll create this make-believe land, and the people, you'll see the mass of people looking at the scandal of the Catholic Church presently, and the scandal of other churches and stuff like that.
Let me just say this here. Let me say this here. Who got more members? The church, any church, or the theaters, movie theaters, stage theaters? Who got the most members?
Wow.
Yeah.
That tells you right there what they want. They don't want the real. They want the illusions. And church itself ain't even enough for them.
No, the thing about church,
and when I say church, I'm talking about all religious gatherings.
Right.
Well,
masjid, mosque, all of them. Church means that.
All religions go to the theater.
And you know, this whole thing with Jesus and the prophets and everything, you know, if Holy Apostle was what they described Jesus as being and everything, come on, in this day and time, how many of people would really want to hang out with him? They'd be like, you know, only people that choose to be like that will want to hang out with him. You know, and I was talking to Holy Apostle this week about Christian women, you know, so-called Christian women, always looking outside of the church for a man.
But let me say this before you go on. And this is not no disrespect to Jesus. This is disrespect to all these people who put these lies on Jesus. If Jesus was like what they said, they described a soft homosexual.
Yeah.
Male.
Oh, well, the homosexuals now in the church saying that Jesus was a homosexual.
Well, I'm saying, that's what I'm saying. If what they say of Jesus, that's what they what they describing.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, because no real man, no warrior, and Jesus was a warrior for Allah, for Allah. Ain't no real warrior stepping back and being unlike Moses.
That's right.
Jesus was like Moses.
No, the prophet.
Abraham didn't hang out in the wilderness by himself being a coward.
Even the scripture that described about John the Baptist.
He was not a coward. He was a warrior.
Nobody messed with John. He lived out in the wilderness. Wilderness. Ain't nobody bothered him. That's what they had to be. When they called him, when the Pontius called him, they had to cut his head off. He got to go.
Yeah.
He baptized and whooping. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, they really tried to swing. They've been trying for years to swing that thing with Prophet Muhammad. Like, he ran. Allah probably told Prophet Muhammad, you can't do nothing more here. It's time to go.
Yeah.
But the way they act is like Prophet Muhammad was a scared chicken running his can off.
They don't understand.
He was there alone.
Right.
And he had his relatives who a few of his relatives who was close to him. And when he left, the night he left and Ali stayed home in the bed, that was Ali's choice. But Ali caught up with him.
He showed up there in Medina, yeah.
He caught up with him. But if you noticed when they talked about Prophet Muhammad, they always talked about how soft he was. They try to make him seem like he was equal to Jesus. That's what they made their fault. But they always said he was in the front line.
I was about to say, in the battles,
he was the general. And he was the general. He is like Samuel.
Well, 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now, they're going to talk about you sewing and...
Well, and this black skin of mine that come in the summer and white as snow. Don't let them find out about how soft my skin is.
I know. Oh,
boy.
They're going to say, the Holy-Apostle was soft.
Yeah.
Ask anybody that's been there to him, be like, "Ow, this man on fire."
Yeah, but we have to be as such, you know, because we live in a crazy, insane world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And people only understand what you bring to them that's of them. Like, you know, I try to play the role of being humble and cool and calm and laid back. And then people want to attack me. Why you want to attack? Oh, you think I'm a chump. Okay, let me explain something. I come from the projects. That ain't just saying that like those rap artists faking that. I really came from Hayes Homes. I came through the riots in Newark. I came through all the hell. You know, I came through the time when people was beginning to step up from junkiism into Nation of Islam. You know, I came through the threats of being turned into a homo if I didn't fight back. In the projects, I came through having to watch my head every time I came out of my house, you know, every day. You know, I came through all that stuff, kill or be killed.
Right.
Or, you know, fight back or be taken. So, you know, all right, you want to see that side of me? You don't really want to see that side of me. You try to find out if it's there. Well, I'm going to tell you, it's there, but it's laid back. Leave that lion sleeping.
Right.
You don't want to mess with that lion. And I don't think I'm so bad, but I think my Lord's the baddest thing out. You know? And it's angels. I don't think no man can whip them. You know what I mean? And you can call me lucky. Those who know me, they call me lucky. They said, damn, he's lucky. Nothing ever happened to him. He never lost. You know, no matter what the situation was, he always got away. Boy, well, you call it luck, I call it my Lord's protection. You know? So, but we have to be like that. And when Allah allows its man to be taken down, that's Allah's doing. That's no victory for the people of the world. You know? It's time for the man to go.
Alright, with that being said,
it's time for the man to
go. That's it. This has been an I-Ham moment, the calm before the storm. Write to us, Post Office Box 8795, Newark, New Jersey 07103, or via the internet at thirdhouse@yahoo.com. Lord Holy-Apostle, Holy Queen, Brother Fat Kids, those in the audience, those watching, may the Lord bless us and continue to watch this program. Have a good evening.
Who of you want to do things right? to keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly